Hey guys, Jesse here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at my completed Master Grade 00 riser. Now, I hate to be copying Mr. Zaku Aurelius's review style here, but I'm going to start this off with the spinning base shot because this was actually a commission, and I really want to avoid touching this kit as much as possible in fear of scratching anything off before it gets to the customer. But basically, if you love the 00 riser, even if you like the double riser, this kit is incredible, like truly incredible. But just to talk a little bit about what I did and what the customer wanted, basically, he wanted a double riser that was weathered similarly to my heavy arms. If you haven't seen my heavy arms build, check my Instagram or my Facebook because the review I did for it on my channel here, I did a snap build review, so it doesn't have my final paint job on it. And stay tuned till the end uh, because I have some information about commissions going forward because I've gotten more after showing this guy off. But yeah, just to talk about the paint job I gave to it, and we'll get it up closer here in a second. Basically, I just did my normal dry brushing of silver on the darker parts with sponging of silver for chipping, and then sponging of black on the white for chipping there as well. Then used a Tamiya Weathering Master to create streaks, as simple as that. Then hit it with a top coat, of course. So yeah, nothing super special, but I honestly think this is one of my better, if not my best, weathering jobs I've done. I just was able to strike a really good balance of maintaining the sleek aesthetics of the double riser while making it look like a used mobile suit. So I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit on this one, and I hope that the customer really enjoys it. But let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about the looks and proportions. I mean, you're looking at it right now. Let me tell you, this boy is just his proportions, his sculpt, his colors, like everything is incredible. I mean, look at the clear green on this guy. It just pops. It looks great. Just talk about the clear green. I will say the LED gimmick is kind of overrated. I mean, you need fucking 5 LED units to occupy all the LED spots in this kit, and the only one really worth it is in the head. Even that doesn't look amazing, but if you want to do it, you'll need 5 LED units. But in all honesty, I'm not going to show it off here because I don't have that many. And it's just not worth it. It's kind of ridiculous though. Like I said, again, requires 5 LEDs and you only get one. The Master Grade Exia came with 2 and it only needs 2, so I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. But anyways, um, yeah, the like I was saying, the proportion, the sculpt, everything is great. The details on this kit has some incredible detail. Uh, just a great amount of paneling, like separation, armor panel separation. Course collar separation is great. Just really good mechanical detail. I think the O-riser component of this guy is even better than the Gundam itself because it just looks so good. So if you, again, for me, I think this might be the definitive version of the Double O-riser. And I think it speaks volume that I like it so much because I hate the Double O Riser's design. I've always hated the Double O Riser's design, and I still sort of hate it. But after building this kit, I can't deny this is a good looking kit. In terms of the build, it is somewhat mundane, a little, boring, just because if you've built any Double O kit, all the way from HG to real grade to master grade, maybe even perfect grade. They're constructed pretty similarly, so if you built one, you've sort of built them all. So no real surprises here, just pretty simple. I will say they fixed a lot of stuff from the master grade Exia, which I'll talk about here in a second when we get to articulation, but just know that this thing can actually pose and not just fall apart into a floppy mess like the Exia. Um, but yeah, just the build was okay. It was all right. I will say building it for me was a bit of a pain in the ass because there's so many clear parts, and don't get me wrong, they look great once again. But in order to do the weathering job I did, I had two options. It was either weather the pieces individually and then construct it, or construct it, mask the clear pieces, then weather. And I wasn't about to be masking circular pieces. Let me tell you, that's just a huge pain in the ass. So just took me a while, especially just to construct that head because of the multiple clear pieces on there. But in any case, let's go ahead and move on to articulation. I'll go ahead and bring it a bit closer so you can see the paint job a little bit better. So here we are a little bit closer to the 00 Gundam. Just again, really feel good about this paint job. I really hope the customer enjoys it. But yeah, talking about articulation, again, I'm not going to articulate it too much, but I will say the head is very nice. Can look up nice and far, has a nice hinging mechanism here, and can look down at his chest very menacingly. It's a very nice look. The binders here are a little disappointing. I wish they could move back more, but that's about as much as you're going to get. And they can't really move up that much, but they can swivel here. You can bring it forward to create that sort of GN shield effect. And the cool thing is they'll swivel up like this. You have a locking mechanism here, and now they won't go past here. And that's because when we add the binders and the shield and all the crazy crap that goes on here, it's going to get heavy, and this locking mechanism will prevent it from just drooping down and looking stupid. So the arms here are pretty normal, not really going to go into it. There is a break here in the armor, as you can see, for lifting the arm up. The legs here are really nice. They can go whichever way you want. As you can see in there, they're on a track, so you're going to be able to get them into some kneeling poses if you want. I forgot to mention that in the torso, if you haven't built a 00 kit, or a master grade 00 kit, this can swivel from left and right. It's sort of like on a circular track. It's actually quite strange. So as you can see, you can kind of do this. And it doesn't look the best, but it does allow him to get some really great side to side. And of course the ankles, there's like no ankle armor, so completely unhindered. But these legs, they break apart really nicely, and it just looks incredibly sleek. So you kind of just see how much gray and stuff is poking around. Really great detail again. I'm really impressed with this master grade. The beam, I know it's weird to mention the beam sabers here, but on the master grade Exia, these were a complete disaster. They moved around in like every single direction of freedom and just became a floppy mess. But here, you just got that in and out. Looks good. That's all you need. Put that out. You can reach behind there and grab them. But the back skirt here doesn't move in and out too much, but yeah, it doesn't inhibit it too much. I forgot to mention the decals. The decals on this thing are great. I mean, they really are amazing. They're super crisp, very nice, white on blue, blue on white details here. You get stickers and dry transfers, and the stickers, honestly, they're not bad. They're really well trimmed, and yeah, again, blue on white, just for me, looks great. So let's go ahead and move on to the accessories. So I'm going to go ahead and start off small. Also, I apologize if this review is really long. This guy, there's a lot of kit here, okay? This guy comes with a shit ton of stuff. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the small stuff here. You get 2 pilot figures of Setsuna and Saji. You got Setsuna in sort of his civilian outfit and Sanji in his pilot outfit. These, I just threw some lining on here. Haven't cleaned them up because I plan to paint these, but you get those. Next, you get the GN condensers. I really like the GN condensers. There's a clear green part in this like little sliver, but I'm one of the few people who thinks that they look better than the GN drives on the 00 riser. Unfortunately, you've got to take apart the back part of the 00 riser, or of the GN drives, to complete this and put them in there, but so yeah, there's a little bit of part swapping you got to do to be able to use these, but they're really nice and they look great weathered up like this. Hopefully this will convince the customer to use them. Next, you've got the GN Sword 2s. Here it is in rifle mode. Here it is in sword mode. And I absolutely hate this weapon. I think it is like, I think it's the dumbest weapon I've ever seen. This is supposed to be a rifle? This is so ugly. But in any case, and in the sword mode, so you get some beam effect parts for it. Here's one. You slide this over, And these work really well, and I think they look really nice. There's no doubt about that. But I have to wonder about the practicality of these in terms of, real life combat, if I can ever get this beam effect part on. So there you go. So he holds it like this, so like he's just going to be slapping whoever he's fighting. He's not going to be slashing. No, he's going to be doing some slaps. I guess it's a beam effect, so like whatever, right? But in any case, so that's the sword mode. You get two of these effect parts, and they're really big. Again, here's the rifle mode. He holds these just fine. Absolutely no problem. They're super light. And you also get this little connector piece to turn them into like a Darth Maul version, like a two double-ended sword. I'll show that in the spinning base shots, but he holds these perfectly fine, even with the effect parts. They're incredibly light. Next, we get his shields. These are okay. They look all right as they are now, and they can clip onto the binders by flipping up this little connection and plugging it onto the side here. And you can just sort of imagine that on the other side. And they're technically, when they're on the side like that, I forgot to do it here, but you're supposed to take off this front piece and put it up a bit higher and then attach it. But yeah, I don't really like that you have to take apart this shield to do that. And this part kind of slides in and out. But for the 00 Gundam to use this as a proper shield, you clip them together like this, and then you plug this piece, you flip it down onto the back of his arm, and it looks incredibly awkward. It is very, very hard to pose with, and it doesn't look, it just doesn't look right. And for me, it just looks like a really big surfboard. So I won't be using it as a shield in the spinning base shots, but they're there if you want them. And they also have really, really nice decals. Next, we get some hands, which is interesting. So he has posable hands there, 3-1 in the thumb, pretty normal. But then you get fixed pose hands, well, semi-fixed pose. The thumb is on a ball joint, but the fingers here, it's kind of like age style. You get closed fists here, and you also get holding fingers. I think for the beam sabers mostly, but he holds the weapons just fine with those posable hands, so I don't get why they give you these, but I went ahead and weathered them up just in case the customer wants to use them. But it is kind of nice if you just want a closed fist, because you can get that sort of tight closed fist with these. Next, I forgot to mention, you get little connector pieces for the side skirts to put the GN Sword 2s in. Next, you get the coolest weapon, no doubt, the GN Sword 3. This is a super cool looking weapon, and that bright green effect part is incredible. This works way better than the Exia's GN Sword 1 or whatever it was. He holds it far better. You just flip this down, and now it's in rifle mode. You flip this up, and now it's in sword mode. And then you pull this out, and now it's in like slashing sword mode. This little piece will plug into his arm, and he'll hold the handle here, and this will sort of wrap around the top of his arm. So again, this works incredibly well, way better than the Master Grade Exia sword. And it comes with this crazy huge beam effect part that will plug into like all these orifices or whatever. And now you've got the riser sword. Now I haven't tested this effect part with him holding it, so I have no idea if he can actually hold this up. But from what I've heard online, apparently he can, so we'll test that out with the spinning base shots. But again, this is really, really cool. And I would hazard to guess that the customer is going to want to pose this with this weapon. I mean, I would. And now we move on to the biggest accessory of this guy, the thing that turns the 00 Gundam into a somewhat useless Gundam into an unstoppable force. The O-Riser. This thing is super cool. It looks incredible. Just the proportions, sculpt, details are spot on with this thing. There is a pilot in here. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but there's Saji in there, and there's actually a Haro sculpted in there, and I went ahead and painted them red there. That's some really nice detail on this thing. I always thought this was the cockpit, but apparently that's the cockpit. Whatever this is supposed to be, maybe a camera or whatever. You get two pieces. You get the orange piece here, and you also get a clear piece. I'm assuming this is for, I don't know, maybe if you wanted to paint it a different color. I don't remember in the show it ever being clear like this, but it is what it is. The side binders here can go in and out, as you can see. So that's pretty nice. These can go in and out. This is mainly for when it's attached to the 00 Gundam, and these can open up. And you can put GN drives in these binders, and there's clear pieces here to feed the light through. So again, just super incredible detail. Looks really nice. I also think the weathering on this thing came out nicely. I did it a little bit differently. I kind of ran my Tamiya weathering all the way down it because it's like a jet. So you do get some pieces for this thing. Additionally, you get this action-based connector, which unfortunately doesn't connect straight onto the O-riser. You need to use this little connection piece on the bottom, and then you have to actually attach the GN Sword 3 to the bottom of this and then attach the action base connector. So you can't just have this alone on an action base, unfortunately. I'm not going to show this because the latch for the GN Sword 3 is actually kind of stuck due to the top coat, and I don't want to scratch any paint. And to be honest, I highly doubt the customer will want to display the O-riser just by itself. And before I forget to mention, you do get an action base connector for the Gundam itself, of course. And you also get these pieces of landing gear, if I can get them all in my hand. You get these 3 just for the O-riser. And then you get this one that you can attach onto the sword if the sword is attached to the O-riser. So you've got like a million options for displaying this guy, except for the O-riser on its own, which is kind of disappointing because I just like this thing as it is. But yeah, super cool decals as well. You got that nice O-riser right there. Just looks really, really sleek. But let's go ahead and turn the 00 Gundam into something I really, really hate, which is the 00 riser. So you're going to take your Gundam here. You're going to take the side binders off of the O-riser. So now you just have the O-riser here, just completely naked. And for the binders, I'm only going to do one side, but you'll see both of them in the spinning base shots, of course. Here, now, usually on the inside of this, you can pop this down. If I can, there we go. You can pop that down, open it up, and there's a connector piece in here, but I went ahead and left it out because it's really hard to get this off. And I'm, again, afraid of scratching paint stuff, but this is the connector piece. Plug it onto there. Then you kind of latch it into little slots around the GN drive. And there you go. You've got one binder on, and this can actually swivel around, as you can see. It's a pretty cool effect to be able to swivel around the GN drive like that, but you can have it launching forward, pointing forward to shoot its guns there. Open this up, why not? Spread these out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then after you've got that attached, you can take the one of the shields here. Well, I was about to say GN shield. It probably is the GN shield. I can't really remember. But you can also plug these onto side binder here. Now you got this grotesque mass on the side of your 00 Gundam, which to me looked perfectly fine before. But now, we got to do this to it. So now you're going to take the O-riser here and pop that out, and you'll just see just a peg into a hole. Couldn't be any simpler than that. Push that down, and here comes the docking sequence that they of course let Setsuna do. And now you've got the 00 riser somewhat completed. I'll do again the other side as soon as I get to the spinning base shots, but there you go. And I will say this is just if you like it, you like it, but for me that's just too much upper body. But I will say it is impressive. It will make a presence on your shelf. And that's it. That's everything you get with the 00 riser master grade. And I will say it's an impressive package. You get a lot of good stuff in this kit. just the addition of these effect parts is enough to win anyone over who might be interested in this kit, because otherwise you're just going to have a lot of plastic with no real pizzazz. If that makes sense. But yeah, build was good. Details are incredible, and the amount of accessories is nearly countless. And now, before I get to the spinning base shots, I just want to talk about commissions. So after showing this guy off, of course, I got some commission requests. And basically, the way you can request a commission is simply to message me through Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Please don't message me through Tumblr, because you will probably never ever get it answered. I barely use my Tumblr, even if it is in the description. But on my Instagram, Facebook, and of course my YouTube, it's all in the description. So I'm going to try to keep it at 3 commissions at a time. So basically, I'm just going to have 3 slots of commissions open, right? So you can request a commission. If there's a slot open, I'll kind of get you in and we'll talk about what to do. That being said, please, if you're going to request a commission, please know what you want. Please don't just say, I want a commission, and then when I ask, okay, what are you looking to get, you say, I don't know. Because I've had that before, and that's how a lot of commissions fall through the floor. So please know what you want. But currently there's 2 slots open. But that being said, just because a slot isn't open, like all 3 slots are taken, that doesn't mean I can't do your commission eventually. You'll just have to look out to when slots are open. I'm going to find a way to sort of announce that later, but that's sort of this plan I'm going to stick to before things get out of hand. But in any case, that's it. If the customer's watching, I really hope you enjoy your 00 riser, because I really enjoyed building it, and thank you for the opportunity for my first commission. So thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye bye.